tell you that one of the facilities in Germany, despite what's going on, evacuated. They're on a this is why I know you're not. I know you're not. But I'm just trying to say that I know it's going to be hard. Because
I completely understand. I don't take it personally.
no, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I only found out about it like 2 hours before they well, I mean, that was my first day of furlough. Yeah, I was furloughed. Yeah. Yeah, no, I live within metro distance, so I could hop on the metro and be like, all right, I'm down here.
I'll cut B-roll. Oh, I see.
Talk to you?
Yes.
Which I am not. This lady is.
Oh, hi. Thank you so much. I'm with the Associated Press. My name is Serpa. You're currently employed?
No, I've been put on furlough.
I mean, you are
Yeah.
not a retiree. I talked to
I'm not a retiree, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. Could we start with your name, if that's okay? First name, last name, and can you spell for the camera?
My name is Mika, Mieka, and if possible, I prefer not to use my last name to protect my family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I understand.
Yeah.
Could you tell me why you're here today?
I'm here to show support and solidarity with the people who are on administrative leave. There's a lot of people who work in USAID. We all have different mechanism. I myself was put on furlough, so I cannot go into the building, but others are still officially employed by USAID, and so I just wanted to show my support for them and express my horror at what's happening.
Are you a full-time government employee or a contractor?
I'm a contractor. Was a full-time contractor, yeah.
And could you tell me a little bit
Sorry,
about...
I can do this without. This is
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
this is-
Sure. Thank you.
do you want to start over? Or?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Could we again start with your name? Can you spell?
Yeah, my name is Mika, Mieka, and I prefer not to use my last name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could you again tell me why you're here today?
Yeah, I'm here to show solidarity for my colleagues. I myself was put on furlough. USAID hires people through a variety of mechanisms. I have many colleagues who are put on administrative leave, so while I no longer have a job, they do, and I want to show my support for them and express my horror for what's happening to this important agency.
Could you tell me a little bit about your work?
Yeah, I work on gender equality and gender-based violence. We work to fund projects that help prevent gender-based violence, that work with prosecutors and judges to reduce impunity. We help support shelters for survivors of violence. We fund projects to do work training for survivors so that they can become financially independent from their abusers. We fund research to understand the nature of the problem and the root causes better. We work with families and communities to help people break the cycle of violence and build better family relations and anger management. That's my area.
I'm sure you worked on so many cases, but could you share, without obviously saying the person's name, but could you talk about a survivor, like how the help gets to a person, like a case?
Yeah, so for example, in certain countries we work with indigenous care providers. So people who are survivors of violence but do not have a Western perspective and don't have and maybe don't have access to a therapist, but also for whom a therapist might not make sense. We help support indigenous people who provide care, psychosocial support in a context and terms that make sense to survivors, to help them understand what they're going through, to even understand that what they experienced was gender-based violence. Sometimes they think it's just normal. And yeah, we fund very, very small organizations and small communities, as well as very big ones too. But the part that hurts me is the very tiny ones that we're relying on USAID funding to continue their work. We have people who go from one community to another, working in schools, helping to understand what gender-based violence is and to understand how to work through anger in healthy ways. This is for communities as a whole. We don't assume that perpetrators look a specific way or that survivors look a specific way. We don't assume that we know who a perpetrator and survivor are, so we work with everyone.
And how did this affect your life as a U.S. citizen?
You know, of course it affected me personally. I'm on indefinite furlough, which is just a polite way to say that I no longer have a job, and so for myself and my family, it's very impactful. But you know, the term that gets floated and to me really speaks the most is the soft power of USAID's work. We work not by forcing people to have respect for America or by telling people to have certain values, but by supporting them in the ways that they feel that they need, and in doing so, making the world a better place for all of us. That makes it better for all of us, including here in the United States, even if it doesn't, if we don't, you know, if most Americans don't see this work directly.
So much for your time. Is there anything you would like to add that I can ask about?
I mean, I wish there were a way. It feels so painful and cruel what's happening, and I think it's actually done very cleverly in a way that for many Americans it seems invisible or just kind of our own personal pain. I don't want to focus, I mean, it's very painful for us, but I don't want to focus on my individual pain. People get laid off all the time. People lose their jobs for different reasons all the time, and sure that is very painful for us, but I think that the bigger picture for why this is so important for the United States, and you know, not to be too grandiose, but for the world, is I don't want that to get lost. I hope that people understand that this is a really terrible thing that's happening and that we have to do something about it right now.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah. I know this is so stupid to have my mask off, but it just seems so ridiculous not to have it on. What is it? Where is it? I know it's AP, but who are you?
I'm the case Associated Press, and
Yeah.
I'm currently doing someone else.
Just goes to all the
system.
Yeah.
So if you go maybe this afternoon, if you go into USAID.com and then search for USAID and see the stories, there might be videos attached to it, photographs attached to it.
Yeah.
I go through the videos and I can't say like what which interviews would be in there, and I'm news gathering, and someone else would be editing. If I were the producer, I would know.
Yeah.
So just search for USAID. And see.
Yeah, no, it's more if you knew which outlets are thinking of picking it up or caring about this.
Yeah, AP has global clientele, so it could be picked up by anyone around the world.
Yeah.
But we also have our own website where we publish the news.
Yeah.
So that's why you could search for a piece that's like an end product.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
And then, but also like footage, it's distributed to clients worldwide. So there's some TV station somewhere thinking about broadcasting. So I don't know where.
Yeah.
But best way to search is APnews.com.
All right. Very well. Thank you. Thanks. And sorry, your name is?
Circon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, these are really good.
Circon.
But all the other ones
decide about the cameras. It's more for like the AI stuff, the cameras. I mean the masks, but
No, I completely understand.
yeah, but I don't even know.
Do you want me to send an Uber to you? There's a bunch of workers that are outside. I also did a slip for seconds. Okay, let's just get this. I have a feeling they're gonna. Just trying to get.
I didn't bring my own.
Yes. That they should have gone through it if they wanted to get rid of the ace.
More people didn't cover.
Yeah. And, yes, just let me know if you need me to order it. So you get that next time. Right. If it ends up not working, shoot me a text. So good.
I mean, now that I've been like that, I'm very used to integrating into the state.
I'm going to go work now. It's time to go to work.
You guys should say that we're in a place where in the U.S. you can't work. I don't have a face show.
Out of all of the.
You're saying that we're afraid to show our faces. We're wearing sunglasses.
So you had to like draw them on your
We're
hand.
afraid, and that's
Yeah, so
why
I
we're
think
going to go to work.
That's what it is.
Demonstrating is legal.
Nice.
Just, you can say it without
One of
showing my
pet peeves
face,
is, like,
but just that demonstrating is legal.
one of my pet peeves is that
Peeves, but
the
Yeah.
police will show up to
I'm like,
protest.
honestly, I'm afraid.
Don't.
I mean, you
Oh
can,
yeah. Oh, I hate that.
they're going to be trying to,
So, like-
So I brought like two.
they're going to be looking for every
Nice.
excuse to fire
Wednesday,
us.
one,
So.
and then I asked my husband.
Let's see, maybe if
Give
I
me one
can
of
wear
the,
something that's more in
Give me one of the
disguise.
flags that we have. He thought I was asking for the flags
No.
that he has from his time in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I was like, that's not what I'm asking
No.
for. Give me one of the other
Can
ones.
you guys
have
change
liked.
the voice a little bit? No,
We
not
can't do
really.
that.
But there were a fair number last week, actually.
I understand. It's sort of like
Yeah,
Okay.
that was cool.
Yeah.
mask and
Well, and then when we went to the hills, I was with Olga.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
And
Yes, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
and
We're in the U.S. where we should be able to at least demonstrate and speak freely. This is before work hours. We start working at 9. That's when we would start teleworking. But we're afraid to do that, so we're wearing masks, we're covering ourselves because we've been told that they're using AI, they're trying to target, and they're trying to find reasons to fire us. So, this should not be the case in the U.S. Examining our agency is fine. If people want to examine programs, that's standard between every administration. We would welcome that. We would welcome pivoting and working in accordance to the priorities of our president, sitting president at the time, but shutting us down this way is totally illegal.
Could you? I know the answer, but for the camera, could you please tell me, are you a government employee or is it a contractor?
I'm a government employee. Yes, I'm a government employee.
And could you tell again?
We've been called worms. We've been told that we're going to be being put through the wood chipper. So yeah.
And
I don't believe it.
could you again? I assume you're going to decline to provide your first name, last name. Could you
Correct.
please explain that for camera so the producer can see that?
Yep.
You know that.
We're afraid to provide that because they have been using various reasons in order to fire staff, and I don't want to be targeted for firing because of that.
Could you talk a little bit about your work at USAID? What do you focus on? What do you do?
Yeah, we basically help countries work. It's kind of hard to talk with all of this, but we're basically supporting countries all over the world in order to provide humanitarian aid. We're supporting U.S. diplomacy and development through this work, providing whether it's food to other countries, whether it's programs that have to do with education, with health. Our work actually prevents and supports the U.S. citizens and the U.S. Community and people by both using the food, the products we use for humanitarian aid are all bought from U.S. farmers. Over $40 billion now is sitting in warehouses and not being shipped out. That's U.S. farmers throughout the countries that are suffering. Our work on medicine and infectious disease prevents diseases like Ebola from coming to the U.S., from coming into this country. Finally, our work creates goodwill all over the world, creates goodwill and diplomacy, and that's how we fight terror. That's the basically third arm of the leg of diplomacy, development, and defense. And development is one important part of this.
What kind of people will be affected around the world?
Everybody, but more importantly, it will be the U.S. citizens who will be affected first and foremost. When U.S. businesses go and try and open businesses overseas, a lot of it is based on the goodwill that these countries provide because of work like USAID's work and because of development work. A lot of farmers, a lot of contractors that stand to be fired because of this, because we stopped paying them. So it's going to be first and foremost the American people, and then it's going to be people who are suffering and need humanitarian aid throughout the world. And just a word about humanitarian aid. Our aid is not only giving them the fish, we're also teaching them how to fish. A lot of our programs also have to do with economic growth, developing jobs, developing education, environmental work that we do, which is important for environmental security globally. Diseases do not know borders. So, yes, our work is first and foremost important for the American people, but important for many, many other countries and people who are suffering throughout the world. So,
Is there anything you would like to add that I didn't ask?
just that even if our work has to be examined, we understand that. No government agency is perfect. We have, first of all, our budget is less than 1% of the U.S. budget. So if you're looking for efficiency, why don't you look at some of the big contracting offices in the government like DOD, for example. But beyond that, we're happy to re-examine our programs. We're happy to realign our programs, but there's a way of doing it, and this is not the right way. So besides the fact that it's a big threat to national security, the way this was done, has been left lots of 10,000 employees stranded all over the world. So, yeah, and maybe one last thing. We're not criminals. We're not worms. We're your neighbor. We're the person next door who's basically our kids go to school with your kids. We work together with you all.
I know you already did, but one more time. Could you explain to me why you are wearing glasses and mask today?
Because at 2025 in the U.S., we're still afraid to actually speak our minds, have freedom of speech, be able to demonstrate, which is our basic right as citizens. We're still afraid to do that in 2025 because we're afraid to be targeted for firing based on that, even though it's legal, even though this is before my workday started. I'm still going to go and work, and I'm going to telework according to the way I was guided by my leadership. So, thank you. Thank you. And I hope you guys edited. So I hope you guys edited because I was not preparing for an interview, so it wasn't the most eloquent. But yeah, they show snippets or what, so it doesn't. Yeah, but thank you.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, we don't even know how
okay, thank you. I know it wasn't the most eloquent, but that's because I wasn't prepared.
Inside of the
Yeah, no.
We can't possibly live with
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Just because I'm.
I grew up in the bubble.
Thank you.
No, I'm a USAID contractor. I was furloughed 2 weeks ago. Staff work orders came through. That's why I came down to support folks. Yeah.
I wasn't the most eloquent because I wasn't preparing. I'm glad this is coming down.
Well, it's not bad.
No, it's a security.
Yeah, it's not me.
Not criminals. It's kind of,
It's showing here.
I know I'm preaching to the converted. I'm just hoping nobody IDs me. There's no one.
These are very similar to what I've been saying.
All these mothers have babies. Or the USAID thing that we used to do security
Excuse me? I don't know if that's something that you should record or whatnot, but maybe I did not say, I'm not speaking in official government capacity, I'm speaking as a U.S. citizen, so maybe that's something that can be added or recorded or something, just because I don't want anybody to think.
Okay. Yeah, it's very clear that we're talking person, not a spokesperson.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't want any.
We would not make that assumption. I don't think anybody would make that assumption. If if there was a podium, if someone with USAID coming out to speak, leadership, then it would be.
I'm not. I am a contractor.
Yeah. Nobody would think that you're speaking on behalf of USAID or other, like anybody other than yourself.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for documenting.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, so for 20 years, I've worked in Rwanda, in Madagascar, providing services, providing health services to people living in refugees so that they can feel better about their its goal are good to strengthen their economy so that we're better able to trade with them, and to strengthen their ability to be safe and secure in their own countries, so that they don't come to the United States. There's a lot that we are doing that makes Americans safer and stronger.
Hi, Manny. How are you?
I'd say the biggest issue that I think most people is what's going on in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. We have a migration crisis in the United States, and that comes because there are huge problems in Central America. USAID and USAID implementing partners like myself are in Guatemala, are in Honduras, are in El Salvador, strengthening the economies of those places, strengthening health services so that people are able to live long, healthy lives in their countries. So that we don't have this massive problem of illegal immigration in the United States.
Yeah, for us, I think also
A few people on my team are on.
Yeah, very much so. So I designed products. I was designing projects that would strengthen the That's what I was doing. I was
They're going to be very busy. Except for they.
Yeah, so I can give you the case of Ebola. There's a massive Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Tens of thousands of
So highly motivated, right? Like if someone owes you like tens of millions of dollars, probably yeah. And I think that they're being fair.
that when there was an that there were only very few cases in the United States when they came out. For the monitoring and the tracking and the support that we were getting, you would have had an Ebola problem in the United States. There were multiple cases in the United States. We had a great understanding of what was going on. Right now,
I mean, I have a friend at the EPA who's like, oh yeah, there's a virus.
there's virtual outbreaks in Southeast Asia.
Exactly. Oh, so they're in there right now.
Yes. There's no way we can protect America without American farmers. There are a number of military generals who have went out and said USAID and foreign aid is not sharing. It is our opportunity to show people that America is great and America is good.
Yes, I would be right.
Where are you? I'm guessing.
Honestly, same.
It's nice. They put in my order for those sweatshirts.
There's a really good chance we could have stopped those conflicts in those places beforehand, so that we didn't have to send troops to Afghanistan, to Somalia, and then later, and then Rwanda later on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody needs to get it.
We do this. Yeah, so this is my...
Take care. It was great to run into you.
And I saw the positive movements of American capitalism. And there is nothing else. This is the most important thing that I spend my life doing. It is my purpose. And for me, like, this is what I do. I'm trying to preserve
Can I just have your info? So I can,
Sure.
just in case.
I'll give you my document. You just give me 1 second.
No worries.
And I'm not like.
Yeah, so both Kristen and I work for a program. We have been furloughed, so neither of us have worked in a week and a half. We are not getting paid. And that is entirely due to stop orders that have come down. So, like, you've probably heard, like, drugs aren't getting through, babies are dying.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That one? Yeah, and I can give you off the record my name and info if you need it.
Sure, I would, yeah.
Should give it to you.
Can you just text me?
You know,
Yeah.
why America is such an important and valuable country that
Okay.
Personally,
Thank you.
Yeah, so the 7 are starting partnerships.
Of course, I'm going to text you for my personal advice because I'm not representing the government in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. I might share your But you have like a personal ID?
No worries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. I have Hold on, I just heard back from this guy at the University of Tennessee. Yes! He's under a stop work order too. I'm going to connect him to the new center. He wants to be connected to the new center.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Sorry,
Taylor.
my name is Serkan. I'm an associate.
Okay.
May I interview you? That's
Sure.
okay.
That's fine. You got... Actually, 1 second. Let me grab your email address.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So I
get
have
it.
we do press releases whenever something important happens.
Absolutely.
And so I'd like to add you to that list.
So it's K, E, D as in dog.
You're heading on a trip today?
KEDERMODY.
Header Modi?
Well, my name's John.
I'll include you on our list.
I'm the
USA makes America stronger, safer, and more prosperous.
like I said, we develop content for local stations. We also have a
Y'all know.
Every single dollar has over
Y'all are y'all in Knoxville, Tennessee, or do you know?
Yes, we're in Knoxville. We're in
Do you know which station it is? I'm curious. That's where I'm from, so.
Oh, okay. I grew up all over the country.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi. Yeah. How's it going?
Van.
Van! Nice to meet you. Like it's so hard on the chats because I'm like, I don't know anybody's name.
I am Priya.
Priya.
Ray and I worked together. Or did until a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
It's like they're harassing.
Yeah, as it is.
We're about to go.
Yeah, I saw you, so I was like, wait a minute, I would love to.
Because I have my photo on my thing, because I'm just like, I don't care. It
I know,
doesn't
but
matter.
there's like, we're about to go here. Any last comment before we go?
No,
Yeah, that's ABC.
I'm the.
And it's all different.
I'm waiting to.
Yeah, that one's not one of those. That's one of the big three.
The lady here.
Oh,
I interviewed her. She's a verbal contractor. Her
Did you give your name?
and they're retired.
I mean,
We got it.
we got it.
Yeah.
Contractor.
Yeah. The lady was 7 years right here.
Oh man.
And it was funny because we were having a conversation last night. She's like,
Yeah, right.
Hey,
Could we go over there?
sure.
Have that as the background?
Oh, good. They took the tape down.
Yeah,
that's
so
something.
if you could stand over here for me.
Hold on, I need a picture of this ridiculousness. This is so stupid. Okay. They taped it up on Friday. I actually had a guy send me the photo, and I was like sending it around to press, and I guess someone took the tape down. So ridiculous.
Okay, so you could just
Oh,
stand
sorry,
over
I can't
there.
hear you.
No problem, no problem. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So that frame is good. So we can stay in eye contact. We don't need to
Yeah.
look into the camera. Could we start, if that's okay, with your first and last name and then you spell?
Taylor Williamson, Taylor Williamson.
And could you tell me why you're here today?
So I work for an implementing partner for USAID. I was furloughed a week and a half ago, and I have not been able to work because of the stop work orders that came down from Elon Musk and Marco Rubio. And those stop work orders have prevented me from providing services around the world that help keep America safer and stronger by promoting trade partnerships, by ensuring that we are tracking and monitoring infectious diseases and making sure that they don't come to our shores, and ensuring that people around the world understand that America
is filled with good, kind-hearted people who understand the importance of having relationships abroad.
Could you talk about it? A few cases, maybe. I overheard you talk about Ebola, like how the lack of work would affect American citizens in the U.S.
Right. So probably the biggest thing right now, in this moment, is bird flu. Bird flu is very common in Southeast Asia. There are new strains of bird flu coming around all the time. USAID has strong monitoring programs to ensure that we understand what new strains of bird flu are coming up, that we are tracking the prevalence of bird flu, that we are supporting governments like Thailand and Indonesia and Burma in order to better collaborate between the agricultural sectors and the health sectors so that they understand what's going on. So like, if that doesn't happen in Thailand and Malaysia and Indonesia and Myanmar and Burma, then it has to happen here, because bird flu will come to the United States, and then we have higher egg prices. If bird flu mutates into an actual like human transmitted flu, and actually there have been cases of human transmission now of the recent strain, then we have massive outbreaks in the United States. I think Americans understand the importance of keeping these deadly infectious diseases outside of our borders.
And what else would be affected? Like, would there be any economic effects other than disease prevention of diseases spreading?
Yeah, so support over time becomes stronger trading partners with the United States than with Russia and China and other countries who are trying to make inroads into parts of the world that we don't want them to make inroads into. So if we are engaged in places like Tanzania and Kenya and helping them strengthen their health systems and helping them improve their economic standing, then we are keeping the Chinese out. The Chinese are really interested in land. They're really interested in resources all throughout East Africa and Central Africa, and our support in East Africa and Central Africa keeps them out. It keeps the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, inside the orbit of American interests, so that we're able to get resources. The DRC has the largest supply of cobalt in the entire world. Without our support to the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Chinese would come in there and take all of that cobalt. I don't think we want that happening. I think what we want is the United States to be seen as a strong and important trading partner for these countries that have resources that we need access to.
One more question. Behind you, there's a sign for this building. Multiple agencies are sharing the building. What's the stain on that part that says U.S. Agency for International Development?
Yeah, so last Friday, someone came around and taped over the United States Agency for International Development. I think Elon Musk is trying to denigrate strong, hardworking American citizens, and trying to embarrass them and trying to say that you don't matter. Your work is unimportant. And that's what's going on behind me, that Elon Musk and his crew of 20-year-old children are trying to tell people who have been doing this work for 20, 25 years that their work as American citizens, keeping us safer and stronger, both here and abroad, is not important. And I just fundamentally disagree with that. I think Elon Musk and his 20-year-old children need to go back to Silicon Valley.
Is there anything you would like to add that I didn't ask? For example, I didn't ask how it affected you personally.
Yeah, so
as a U.S. citizen, I mean, you're a taxpayer. So
I am.
How does it affect you?
So I have wanted to do this work my entire life. I first went to Tanzania when I was 20 years old, and I saw how important it was to engage with people overseas so that they understood that America is great when America is good, that we are a good, kind-hearted people, and that and the importance of engaging with Americans so that we are able to help them stay safe and secure in their own countries, and so that we are safe and secure in ours. I think I have spent the last 25 years of my life doing exactly that, and I think hearing from our leaders and our leaders telling us that that work is not important is deeply disheartening and sad. I think it is a dark day for American leadership when they come around and tell people who have worked hard to keep America safe and secure for years in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in some place in Somalia, in places where most Americans don't want to travel, that work is not valued, that work is not important. And I just fundamentally disagree with that point of view.
So one of the issues that a lot of people are concerned about is immigration, migration.
Yes.
How does improving lives in other countries, how is it related to that issue?
Yeah. So I have done a little bit of work in Guatemala, and in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, there are major problems with crime, with poverty, with substandard health services that force people to migrate north from Mexico to the United States. USAID is there in Guatemala, in El Salvador, and Honduras, strengthening health systems, countering the violent gangs that exist down there, to help young people understand that there is hope in their own countries, to counter MS-13, to strengthen the economic prospects of young people living in those three countries. And so USAID is the first line of stopping our migration crisis, of helping people understand that they can live strong, healthy lives in those three countries, and that they don't need to come to the United States in order to fulfill, their hopes and dreams and ambitions.
Thank you so much. Anything you would like to add?
That's good.
Before we wrap up? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope there's something you can use.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. That's what I've been told. Because that's all they were covering under illegal.
Yeah.
Which office were you?
We work for the same contractor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind texting me and your name.
I'll do that.
Sign.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
We also have a list of press that we send updates up to, so I'll add you to that list as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 9